What's up, y'all? I'm Rachael, Realtor and resident living in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. If you are going to be moving here, you need to know about some of the common misconceptions that I see people getting wrong all the time when it comes to moving to Tennessee and the Tennessee lifestyle. And for a little bonus for those that stick around to the end, I have my direct advice for transplants moving from another state that want to fit right in with the Tennessee residents, no matter where you decide to move to in Tennessee. The first misconception about moving to Tennessee is that Tennessee life revolves around country music. It's not all cowboy hats and country music here. It's true that Nashville is known as Music City, but Nashville and Tennessee as a whole is a thriving arts and culture scene that is way more than country music. And as far as the music scene, you'll find all kinds, from indie, jazz, blues, you name it. Speaking of entertainment, the next misconception about living in Tennessee and moving to Tennessee is that it's just a rural state and there's nothing to do here. Even in those rural areas, that's the best place to get out and enjoy nature. Go for a hike, go for a walk, boating, kayaking, fishing. We have culturally and historically significant places in Tennessee that you can visit and feed your mind. And the larger cities, they're going to have those bigger attractions like the Tennessee Aquarium in Chattanooga, the Adventure Science Center in Nashville, or Graceland in Memphis. And in the mild to warmer months, you'll be able to enjoy outdoor festivals all throughout the state as well. They typically revolve around a theme but bring a lot of local food and craft vendors. Artisan goods, they're very popular in Tennessee, and who doesn't enjoy something that's been handmade? But also, not only for artisan goods, Tennessee is really big for antique shopping as well. The next misconception that people have about moving to Tennessee and living in Tennessee is that it's always hot and humid. Yes, it can get pretty hot and sticky, especially around mid-June to mid-September. July and August, some of those days can feel and even are in the triple digits. But the hot months, that's only a third of the year. We have 2 to 3 months where it can range from moderately cold to freezing cold. So the vast majority of the time in Tennessee, the weather is going to be mild and partly cloudy. As much as I love the sunshine, I do love our partly cloudy days that give my eyes a break from the blinding sunshine, because I spend a lot of time in my car and I definitely need to be able to see when I'm on the roadway. The next misconception that people get about living in Tennessee is that Tennessee residents get a lot of widespread tornado damage. It's enough to scare some people from moving here even, or so they say. Really, if you were to look up the statistics of how many tornadoes happen in Tennessee, it surprises even me. And that's because statistics and the reality, the boots on the ground situation, they don't always coincide. I've lived here my whole life. I can recall each and every time that I've had to seek shelter from a tornado. It's not that many times, probably about every 5 years or so. I've always lived in either Middle or East Tennessee, so I can't say anything about West Tennessee. Again, I've personally never been affected by a tornado, never had my home ripped apart, although my hometown in Cookeville did see some tornado damage back in 2020. And there are a couple reasons that those of us that live here don't get super stressed out about tornado damage. And one of those reasons is that the weather radar is really good at pinpointing with accuracy where the tornado is and who needs to take cover at any particular time. And the next reason is that really, it's not the tornadoes causing the most damage. It's typically wind and other factors from the other severe storms that we get in Tennessee that don't even involve tornadoes. So you want to make sure that you've secured any loose items that could blow away and cause even more damage. And if you have any big trees in your yard, I hope by the grace of God that you're not in the line of that tree if it does happen to fall. Another thing that people always get wrong about Tennessee is that everyone that lives here is deeply religious. It's true that this part of the United States is known as the Bible Belt, but I think that's more because we have a lot of churches, not necessarily that everyone that lives here is attending church. We have those small community churches, we have those big mega churches that are broadcasting. While it's true that a lot of people here are religious, there are certainly all types of religions and houses of worship in Tennessee. And there's also a lot of secular individuals living throughout Tennessee. One thing that you can be of for certain when it comes to religion in Tennessee is that there's something for everyone here, and even if you aren't particularly church going, you're not going to feel weird or like an outcast here. You're not even going to feel like people are pushing their religion on you. I think most people are just kind to others. While we're on the subject of painting all people in Tennessee with the same wide brushstroke, a lot of people think that Tennessee is not racially diverse. Quite the opposite. I have found Tennessee to be very racially diverse. We have all different ethnicities and backgrounds of people, although in my personal experience, the small rural towns are typically less diverse. Cities and college towns, those tend to be more diverse. But especially the diversity in Tennessee overall is really increased in the last 20 years or so. As more and more people move into Tennessee and our own population grows, that's only going to continue to amplify our ethnic diversity here. The next thing that people get wrong all the time about Tennessee is that everyone that lives here is a conservative Republican. The truth is that we have a large number of independents and Democrats living here as well. Mind you, the political leaning of Tennessee Democrats is going to be a lot more towards the middle, especially if you're used to Democrats that are on the West Coast, and they're typically more left-leaning. And I'm going to invite you to take a look at the voting statistics, where Tennessee typically falls towards the bottom of people, of eligible voters who are actually voting. So there is a lot of just apathy when it comes to politics in Tennessee. So while it's true that a lot of our elected officials are Republicans, there's a lot of Tennesseans that just want to stay out of politics altogether. By the way, I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comments. Are any of these misconceptions something that you've had? If so, no judgments. And are there any misconceptions that I left out or you don't agree with? Let me know down in the comments below. The last misconception that people have about moving to Tennessee and living in Tennessee is that the cost of living is really low. Having lived here my whole life, I can say that the housing costs in particular have doubled in the last 10 years. While wages have increased modestly over time, they definitely have not been keeping up with the cost of housing. Tennessee, we don't have a state minimum wage. At the time of recording this video, the federal minimum wage is $7.25 an hour. While we don't tax your income, Tennessee jobs could pay lower if you're coming from out west or a much higher cost of living state. So depending on where you're moving from, Tennessee could offer a more affordable cost of living. But for some others of you that are out here watching this video, Tennessee is actually a higher cost of living from where you're moving from. And I'm not here to sugarcoat it, because even though the rising interest rates are going to cause home prices to drop somewhat, the housing inventory is down significantly as well, and that's going to keep the prices from falling too hard. Prices aren't going to crash. We don't have the market conditions for that. My best advice for someone looking to move to Tennessee is actually very old school. Just save up your money. You want to have the money for your down payment and closing costs and any moving expenses and some unexpected expenses. By the way, to stay up to date with the current housing market in Middle Tennessee, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel so that you will see future videos. And for those of you who are moving to Tennessee and you're looking to fit in with Tennessee residents right away, please, for the love of God, don't feign a Southern accent. As the kids are saying these days, that is so cringe. When all you really gotta do is just smile. Make eye contact and wave at your neighbors as you pass them. People are just naturally gonna assume that you are from around here. They find out that you're really from California, well good. You've now proven to them that people can be kind no matter where they're from. The Tennessee spirit that is true Southern hospitality embodies a spirit of kindness, community, and generosity that I personally think can be easily adopted by anyone that moves here. Whether you are moving to Tennessee or already living in Tennessee, I have some videos picked out coming up next just for you. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I will see you at the next video.